Here's question 28. Have a go. Okay, so write down the coordinate of point A. So what we've got to do here is the cosine curve. So we've got to really remember how the cosine curves work, because that's the one that starts at 1, and then every 90 degrees something else happens. So you've got a maximum, then it crosses the axis, then a minimum crosses the axis, and maximum, so on. So it's the cosine curve starting at 1. We were given that, so that is 90 degrees, so the coordinate is 90 degrees 0. Now a quick tip on remembering which one's which. Both the cosine curve and the sine curve sort of are a wave going up to +1 and -1. All you really need to do is at every 90 degrees something else happens. So you're either at a maximum, crossing naught, or a minimum, and it's then an question of which is which. Now with the cosine curve, remember from SOHCAHTOA, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So imagine you've got a really small angle. So here's a tiny angle, okay. SOHCAHTOA, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. That's adjacent of 1 over hypotenuse of 1, so that, which is obviously 1. So at 0 degrees we have cosine 0 being 1. Whereas if it was the sine curve, remember sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so a really tiny little angle approaching naught, that our opposite side is going to be hardly anything divided by the hypotenuse, which is naught. So that's why the sine curve starts at 0, 0. Now for part B, we've got to draw on the same diagram. Y equals 2 lots of cos x. Now really, cos x is really our function of x. So remember, if we have something going outside the function, first of all it affects the y coordinates, and secondly it does exactly as it says on the tin. So this is going to be doubling the y coordinates. So still 0 along, but instead of 1 up, it's 2 up. At 90 degrees, well, 2 lots of 0 is still 0. That's why that's 0. At 180 degrees, instead of -1, we're doubling the y coordinate to -2, and so on. So 270, 2 lots of 0 is still 0. 360, 2 lots of 1 is 2. So it basically stretches the curve in the y direction. So this is 2 and this is -2. Apologies for the rather dodgy sketch.